Okay, now we have our root saga set up, and it's combining all of our Watcher sagas into that one main root saga, which is running in the background and listening for those actions to be dispatched so that our workers can take over and make the API calls. But we need to write the function that is our Watcher Saga. We've named it, but we haven't actually written it anywhere. So let's go ahead and do that now. Now we're going to use a couple of helper methods from redux-saga that will basically allow us to listen for those actions when they're dispatched. So we need to go to the top of the file here, and we're going to import a method called takeEvery from redux-saga. So what takeEvery is going to allow us to do is basically listen for certain actions that are going to be dispatched in our app code and take them and run them through the worker sagas, which is going to perform the API call or the asynchronous code. So let's put takeEvery to use here by starting to write our Watcher Saga, and that will allow us to hook up to that worker saga and finally make the API call. So we'll add some space here to start writing our Watcher Saga. And remember, we called it watch create listen here below. So we need to make sure we name it the same thing. So we will export default function, and it is a generator function. So we'll add the superstar there and call it watch create saga. So let's write a little bit of a better note here for our watch create lesson saga that we are creating. And we will just make sure that we understand that this is our Watcher Saga. Yes. And what's this going to do? It's basically going to spawn a new asynchronous task on each action that we care about. So spawn a new task on each action. And where is action defined? Well, these are in our action creators. So if I go over to lessons, and I can see that these are the names of the actions that I've created. So lunchbox lessons create is the action that we care about in this instance. Yours might be something like add to do or delete user or something along those lines. So let's go ahead and start writing the body of this particular Watcher function. So we will say console.log just so that we know that this is all working, and just say redux saga. And how many times am I going to type Safa or sofa is running the lunchbox create. Whoops, it's actually lunchbox lessons create action listener. Cool. So this will basically log out to our console when this is spawned or running. And some of the older tutorials that I came across for Redux Saga required that you do something like while true to ensure that this is always running. But remember, this is actually taken care of now when we created our middleware. So by running this saga middleware.run method, this is kind of putting all of your sagas, because they were combined in the root saga, it's putting them through this run method, which is kind of doing that while true loop for you. So you don't need to actually do that. The run method will make sure that these are running in the background. So give it a save and visit your app and reload the page. Check out the console. What's this? We see the Redux Saga is running the action listener, and it's just waiting for that action to be dispatched so that it can act upon it. Awesome. Okay, so now we have watch create lesson body created. We need to actually start doing the Redux Saga code, or using the Redux Saga code, and we are going to put that takeEvery method to use. So we want to yield again because we are using the generator function. And what are we going to yield? Well, it's going to be takeEvery. And this takes two arguments. The first one is your actual action names. So in our case, it is the lunchbox lessons create action. So it's going to listen for that action, and when it detects that that action was dispatched, well, it's going to call our worker saga. So our worker saga is going to be named create lesson async. Bam. And that's all that it takes to get our Watcher Saga set up.